Hello. Hello from
Hi.
Australia again.
Hello from New Zealand.
We are no longer in a post office in the middle of rural New
Mm,
Zealand. I miss it. I miss it already.
it was such a great place, like Kimbleton or
Um,
Kimbolton, however you say it, wherever you're from.
Apparently it's Kimbolton, but I'm gonna say Kimbolton because there's so many other ones that Hamilton,
Yeah,
Masterton,
this is
Kimbolton. Like
Carterton. Carterton.
I don't know. But
Carterton.
yeah,
Yeah.
shout out to Kim Bolton.
And the
We had a great
cafe
time.
there. I wish I had the name. Was it Hanson's Cafe? Whatever the cafe is that's in Kimbleton. I need to look up the name. So good. You
For people.
it
You're
looked,
ever in rural New Zealand.
oh my God, best place for a writer's retreat. So
It
good.
really was. It was
So
awesome. And
good.
now we're back. We're back to things. And I'm really excited for today's podcast topic. We should say we have no new patrons this
Not
week.
this week, no.
But if you want to check out our Patreon, go for it. And we had a lovely coaching call just a few minutes ago with one of our patrons. So
We did. We have one
I
tomorrow.
always love chatting with people and getting seeing them kind of like light up and get the enthusiasm back, and like
Yes.
it's awesome to then see them take that and run with it. So yeah.
Yes. Oh, I understand
So but
that.
today we're talking about when the wheels come off and the
Yeah.
excrement excrement hits the fan. Excrement.
Insert poop emoji here.
Yeah. The I don't know. Are we a sweary podcast? Sometimes.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, when the
We're
shit hits
sweary
the fan.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we are. We just, like there's no avoiding it.
there
Um
really isn't. It's just like there's
Life
no avoiding that
happens.
it will happen. Exactly.
Yeah. And sometimes even if you have the best social media and marketing strategy, things happen and you need to stop what you're doing and deal with them.
Exactly. Like life is life. Like it's just going to happen. And just because you are writing your book, or just because you're on deadline, just because you have a book launch, or you just because you have that social media campaign starting in 2 days, doesn't mean that life isn't going to throw something at you that you're going to have to deal with. And it could be, you're on your way to your first book signing
Mhm.
and you end up, your tire goes flat, or it
Mhm.
can be, everybody, in Allie's house, bless your heart, you've had a book launch happen and everyone's fallen ill.
My
And so,
first book launch, that when the High Mountain Court came out, one of my kids brought a stomach bug home from kindy and we were all violently ill for several days and there was no way, and this was before I had the concept of batching content and saving content. I've learned my lesson since then, but there was no way I could have been on camera even for a
yeah.
second, like,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I was so green. And so the day of my book launch, very much, I think I just posted like a still photo of my book or something. I
Poor
just I
thing.
was like wanted to do something, but it would it now I would just take the day off, but I also now have a lot of content just like saved up in the bank for a rainy day,
Yeah.
so my favorite go-to when I'm feeling sick but have the energy to post something is to just cover the camera in on a duet with my thumb so that it's dark,
Yeah.
and then just put like a happy emoji on my side of the duet. So that's what
Now,
I do
now
for
we all know
TikTok.
the secret.
Now you all know.
Now we know.
I'm not feeling well if you see those. Or yeah, or I'll like repost an old video or something else. But quite often it's just a duet. And sometimes I'll just do a green screen of my book cover, you know,
Yeah.
and I'll point it to the ceiling so that I'm not in the green screen,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
it's just my book cover, and that's what I'll do. So that's a great one too. If you have anybody like leaving a review on like TikTok of your book or something, you can just duet it with your book cover and not your face and just post that with like a thank you so much or something,
Yeah.
that is a really great one. Or just the first funny video you find that you think your followers would like, and just like a laughing emoji.
Yeah.
Post that. That's your post. But there's times in our lives when even that is too much,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
those are great quick content when you just need something and you have maybe you're feeling a bit sick, but you're not so unwell that you can't post something. And
Yeah.
then there's other times when like,
You can't.
the shit really hits the fan and you might not even be at home. You might be, like a family member might be in the hospital. You might be trapped traveling for,
Yeah.
flight canceled. Um, and you can't post anything. And that's okay.
That's okay. Yeah. Just because you don't have a backup plan, you don't have drafts, you don't have a PA, you don't have anything scheduled, let it go. You've got
Yeah.
to be able to like I think that's that mental health side of things is almost giving yourself permission to know that when the shit does hit the fan, you can
Mm.
walk away because there is going to be that moment that it's going to happen. It's just because we're all human. We are going through the same human experience. We're all going to get hit by that wave at some point of something heavy,
Yeah.
and you just can't. And so
Yeah.
just don't walk away
And I
from it.
always say, like, don't add this to your to-do list. Don't put stress about social media on
Yeah,
your to-do list. Don't add feel guilty all day about not posting on your to-do list. Like you already have other things. Don't put that on yourself. Don't carry
exactly.
that extra burden.
Yeah, you can't. You can't. Like it's one of those things that's like you can always try to prepare for something happening, but
Mhm. Yeah, like we talked about in our
it's
holiday
gonna,
episodes, of like how to prepare for the holidays, how to
yeah,
like batch content, how to like, if you can prepare for things, great. But
do it.
sometimes things happen and you
And
can't
you're not
prepare for
prepared.
them.
Yeah. And that's
And
fine.
and I think that there's this kind of misconception that if people leave social media for even a day, a week, let alone a month, that they'll never be able to revive it again.
Yeah.
And that's just not true.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can bring it back. You might have to post more content than you like if you've been posting like when I started, I was posting 3 videos a day. Then it was 2 videos a day. Now it's 1 video a day. Sometimes it's every other day. And I can do that because I've built that consistency of presence online. But if I were to go away for 2 weeks, I'd probably need to post 3 times a day for a little while
Yeah.
again to start kind of revving it back up,
Yes.
warming it back up. And then I could get back to that kind of chill place again. But it's totally doable. And we've seen lots of people do it where they've, for one reason or another, needed to take a step away. And quite often when they come back, people are overjoyed. They're so excited to see them again. Their content immediately starts getting pushed out again. And that's okay. Like I think a lot of people are afraid to like go, I can't take a week off of posting.
You can do
Then some people
it.
can't take a day off of posting, like they
Yeah.
feel not okay with that. And we're here to give you permission that it is okay to prioritize the things that you need to in your own life and your own mental health and
Yeah.
take the day off. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's that prioritizing, definitely like looking at it and going, what's more important? It's like what is like, and I'm going to use my own personal scenario with it that I was working actually on social media posts for clients when I got the phone call that my mother was passing. And I was sitting at the kitchen table and just looking at all this work that I had to do. And I just had that moment of like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They'll understand. And I'm carrying the weight at that time. It wasn't even my own brand. It was my clients that I had. I think I had at least 5 clients on deck that had stuff that needed to happen. And we were set up with backup systems, but nobody was expecting this moment to happen then. And I had to stop and walk away. And I had this moment in the car. I'm in America driving to the nursing home. My husband's back in New Zealand helping keep the business going. And I'm telling him, like, here's everything's happening now. He's like, I've already called clients and let them know everybody's okay. And to have, 2 of the brands too they were at the top of their game at that time here in New Zealand coming up. And they both just went, we're fine with it because we're fine. We've got other ways that we'll make up for it. Go. And so that's that type of attitude. If I had these 2 brands that were looking at it going, oh, like we can do that to ourselves because we have other things that will make up for it later.
Yes.
You can lean into things like if something happens to you as an author, I look at times that people appear like in my Facebook feed in the author community, because that seems to be where we have a lot of our author groups that we go to find each other and to connect online. And
Mhm.
you'll see a post about another author, somebody going, this person's going through XYZ, you know, their husband just passed away, or they just lost their job and this is happening. People start, other authors, like I'm actually getting goosebumps thinking about it because they go, give me the link. I'm going to tell
Yeah,
my
yeah,
people, what can I
100%.
do? And you
Yeah,
suddenly have that community that's there. So God
yeah,
bless, like lean into your people when that
yeah,
happens and don't be afraid to ask your people. Go like, can you guys help me? Because I'm about to tap out for a week. Like that's
yeah.
people tell me they're tapping out. I'm like, give me your links. I'm going to tell everybody about them.
We all struggle so much with asking for help, but there's so many people out there who legitimately would be overjoyed to help you.
Yeah.
Like it would make them happy to help you too, you know, and it's okay to lean into them. Like when the day I moved, the day we were moving here to Australia was the day that my paperbacks got re-released.
That's right.
I was like in the air. I couldn't even have my phone on. Like, you know, and I've got two tiny kids. Like I couldn't be on social media all day. And I remember making a video saying like, you know, I would love if people could, you know, talk about my books while I'm traveling, you know, like I would love if you could go out there and celebrate this release for me because I I
I
won't be able
can't.
to.
Yeah.
And people were like, yes, you know, it's like they almost took it like a challenge, like, of course we will. And I'm so glad I did because I thought, you know, "Oh, I shouldn't do that, you know. But people actually like having a way of like asking for help, I think is quite a good thing sometimes. And it actually makes people feel more connected with you because you've been willing to ask them for those things.
Yeah, but
Um,
and they bond with you, I think, too, in that way that when you are telling them when you're going through something, or, you know, it's like just something happens there that people there is a connection that happens. Like it just does because somebody out there understands and they've had to do it before. Like again, it is a human thing that is going to happen to you. We're all in the middle of a human experience.
mhm.
Be your authentic self, you know, even when the shit hits the fan, because I
Yeah.
think that's the most important time that you need to have your community to be like,
Totally.
catch
And
me.
then, you know, some people like kind of, I'm the sort of person when, depending on what kind of emergency it is, I kind of go dark and like just don't communicate with everyone until I'm kind of out the other side of it. Like I'm kind of incapable of reaching out in that moment. It's only after the fact that I can. But that's okay too. Like it's okay if you just need to like just not be online for a little while you're dealing with something and then come back in whatever way like works for you or maybe reach out to your people then, you know.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
but that is something that I feel like there's so many people who, especially when you're running your own business and you're working for yourself, like I think we're our own worst
Mm,
bosses sometimes,
so
where
bad.
you
So
know,
bad.
if like you're saying, like all of your clients at that time were like, of course, like you like we're gonna be okay, you
Yeah.
know,
I'm beating
but
myself up
we can't
over
do
it
that to
going,
ourselves sometimes, you
yeah,
know.
like that's, and
and
you can't, we can't.
and I think with TikTok too, especially, it is not as timely as it seems. Like there's
Yeah.
always time in the future to promote that book launch or that thing that's coming up. Like it doesn't have to be the day it happens. And I know that like a lot of people have this sense of like, it's got to be right now, or like, I've got to use this trending sound right this second. And there's a lot of kind of like hustle to like get things happening right away, but it is okay to just like post a trending sound way after it was popular. It's
Yeah.
okay to just like, you know, come back on and say, oh hey, I had a, you know, like book release 3 months ago, but I'm only now talking about it because I didn't have the space to talk about it before, you know. Like
Yeah.
people will still see that content, they will still engage with it.
That's right. I think that's pretty good. I think we covered all of the shit
Yeah.
hitting the fan in that one.
Yeah.
Like
This
I'm
was
actually
basically
sitting.
just our episode giving people permission to take care of themselves. And I feel
Yeah,
like people need to hear it more. Like,
exactly. I
it is
agree.
okay.
Yeah, like just take care of you because in the end, there's one of you. Like just you've got to. And
Yeah.
I point back, you know, having my business, having clients telling me, hey, it's okay because we're fine. We're fine too as authors, and we will be fine. We have our community to lean into when we come back.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
Sweet.
Sweet. Thank you. Thanks for that talk today. That was actually, I needed to
Yeah.
hear that.
I know, me too. Good pep talk. Good pep talk team. And we'll see you next week.